All right, well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of the Sons of History podcast. Astros World Series champs. Told you. I don't know if I told you, actually. I don't know if I predicted it. I don't like doing predictions because whenever I predict something, it usually goes wrong. Unlike my good friend on the other side of the aisle, not the political aisle, though, Alan Joaquin.
I didn't make any predictions on the Astros. I stayed out of it because I didn't even watch it. So, but I had my reasons, which we don't need to go into details here, but...
we won't.
Yeah, there you go. So, but I mean, I'm happy for the city, and I'm especially happy for Mattress Mack, Jim McIngvale, that our not so illustrious county commissioner called a furniture salesman. Did you hear about that?
Do what?
You didn't hear little Lena that was kind of mocking Mattress Mack? She called because he didn't want her reelected, and she called him a furniture salesman.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to do it. I'm
going to say it. I hope she's indicted. I hope she's indicted. I hope she goes to prison. I hope she goes to prison. I'm going to say that for the record, and there you go.
Well, there you go. Well, Mattress Mack won $75 million, biggest payout in sports betting history. Right here in H-Town. Bury me in the H.
Could not have happened to a better person. The man is a humanitarian. That I was so impressed when he opened the doors to his to Gallery Furniture and let the homeless, people whose homes were destroyed by the hurricanes, they slept on his furniture. They slept in his bed. Who does that?
Yeah. He's a great man. He's a icon. He's a legend, and it was great to see him come through. Did you run across that video of it was after Game 3? We got shellacked. They hit 5 home runs on us, 7-0 loss. We looked bad, and some Philly fan was going at Mattress Mack, and Mattress Mack apparently he had enough, and he's like, "F you, F you." Well,
I didn't see that. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, well, after that moment, after that game, we won the next 3 in the World Series. So,
well, you know
not
what?
Just that,
I'm not surprised. I mean, that this is the same state that elected a guy that can't even formulate a sentence into the Senate.
Dude, I cannot believe that took place. And here's the question. What is more pathetic, that Pennsylvanians voted for robot chicken?
Why don't you just stop there? Just stop there. Pathetic. That's all you need to say about Pennsylvanians. Sorry if any of our
sorry if you voted for them.
This is not directed towards our Pennsylvania fans, but it is going to be directed to the majority who voted in that election.
What's more pathetic though, to vote him into office or to lose to robot chicken?
You can't blame it on you can't blame it on Dr. Oz.
Why not? I just did. He lost.
Hey, you know what? It's throughout history, good people have been voted. Socrates wasn't he? Didn't they vote to kill him? Was that his fault, or was that the morons who said, "Hey, let's kill him"?
No, I get it. You get people who look, Lena Hidalgo. She's obviously crooked as a jaybird, and she got reelected. I mean, but look, people, I don't get it, but people like crooked politicians because they keep voting them in. I mean, Republican, Democrat, not all of them are crooks, not all of them, but man, there's a lot of them. Speaking of favorite things, how can anyone take seriously what is coming out of Arizona and Nevada? I don't care who wins. I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat. How can you take any of that seriously?
I think this was all, it's intentional. It is intentional. I do believe that there's a lot of cheating going on because there is no other explanation for it. You have states that are much larger. Like I look at Florida. Florida's already done. They've already finished the count. How is it that in Maricopa County, and by the way, was it Katie Hobbs, who's one of the people running? You know, she's the Secretary of State. They oversee the election. How can you have? I don't know what the population of Maricopa County is, but how is it that in counties, precincts in Arizona and in Nevada, that they haven't counted? They haven't finished counting, and yet you have states with a much larger population that they're done. And even here in Harris County, you know, the person that Lena Hidalgo appointed to oversee the election, it's a brand new office, by the way. The person that he replaced was an idiot. And now this guy is even worse of an idiot. You had 23 precincts where they ran out of paper at like between 8 and 10 in the morning. That's intentional. By the way, every single one of those 23 precincts, from what they're going to have a lawsuit, every single one of them were all in conservative strongholds. No, that's like flipping a coin, and it's landing on you're getting it right 23 times in a row. Can it happen? Sure, but is it plausible? Not really.
Yeah, no, not really. The thing is they're trying to make these delays and these issues as if this is the norm. This is normal. This is what is to be expected. Like, no, I remember, unless my brain was shut off for a long time. Like, I remember elections, whether it was the presidential election or whether it was just like legislative and governorships. I remember them going into the following night. Like, you're going to wake up and you'll know all of the results because it's going to be early in, the next morning that everything, because there's going to be some outliers but days, we're like, a week in, and like, are you kidding me? Like, there is no excuse for what's going on in this country. Like, you have technological advances, but now you're going backwards in how the results are coming out.
Well, I remember the 1976 election when you had Gerald Ford and you had Jimmy Carter, and we went to bed not knowing who was going to be elected. Now, I remember my folks, they wanted Jimmy Carter at the time. So the next morning they woke us up and they said, "Hey, Jimmy Carter won." So, we were happy. This is the very next day. The following elections, 80, 84, 88, all the way until 2000. We knew that night who was going to be who was elected the president. And then all of a sudden, 2000, things started getting screwed up. And I think that this is being done intentionally with like I said, running out of paper at 10 in the morning. That's not an accident. Unless the person running the elections is such a dumbass that he shouldn't be there, yet they're not firing him. The previous person in Harris County who oversaw the primaries screwed up just as bad. They would not fire her. She had one job to do. This guy, same thing. This is intentional, and I think I do believe that it's going to get worse. Sometime, I'm going to have to say, and maybe Facebook is going to restrict me, but I'm seriously thinking that they delay so that they can find enough votes to overcome. And because they're sitting saying, "Oh, we found another 10,000 ballots in somebody's trunk." I don't buy that. I just don't buy that.